So I started off this painting by taping off a small square in my sketchbook using painter's tape, and then I gessoed that, let that dry, and drew some guidelines in for the strawberry. And for this painting, I used artist quality acrylic paint, including titanium white, cadmium-free yellow medium, cadmium-free red medium, quinacridone red, ultramarine blue, phthalo blue-green shade, and chromium oxide green. You can skip the ultramarine blue if you'd like, because I only used a small amount of that. I used two paintbrushes, a flat size 4 and a round 2/0. Both are Princeton Aspens, which are a very smooth paintbrush. Make sure the flat paintbrush is very thin when you look at it from the side, and the smaller round is just for painting the seeds on. So you don't necessarily need it, but it is handy to have. I start by mixing a light blue with phthalo blue and white to create the background. With acrylics, you can do the background early or later. There isn't a rule, but in this case, we'll do it first. I put the paint on pretty liberally because I'm not going to do a second coat for the background. And I've gone for a somewhat light value for the background because I want to give a little color for the background, but I don't want it to be the focus. As you paint your background, don't worry too much if the color isn't completely smooth. It's nice to have a little bit of variety in your background. In this case, I'm not doing much variety because the focus of this is really to paint the strawberry, but it is something you can do. Add, some spots that are a little bit lighter or a little bit darker and show a little bit of your brush strokes. If you show a little bit of your brush strokes, that allows you to kind of get that loose painterly feel. Now clean your brush and then do a mix of cadmium red and quinacridone red for the strawberry. The color of a strawberry is kind of in the middle of the two, so it's a nice combination. And first we'll paint a layer of this color over the entire strawberry. Next, we'll start to give this strawberry some form. Grab a touch of the phthalo blue, and just a tiny bit because it has a strong tinting strength. Add it to some of the red mix you already have, and this will be the shadow side of the strawberry. And as you paint this, keep in mind that you'll do another coat. Acrylics are meant to be layered, so don't worry about bits of the white gesso peeking through your paint. Sometimes it can look a little bit streaky with your first layer. Don't worry about that too much. That will kind of go away in your second, or if you need to do third or even fourth layers. With this strawberry, we'll just do a couple of layers for the strawberry itself. And once you've finished adding some shadow to your strawberry, clean off your brush again. Now add a little bit of white to your original red mix, and don't make it too light yet. paint the part of the strawberry that the light falls on. Now add a little bit more white to your mix and brush this onto the area with the brightest highlights. This is going to give your strawberry form and shape. Now clean off your paintbrush and we'll move on to the leaves. Get some of the chromium oxide green on your brush. Paint all the leaves with this color. Chromium oxide green is very opaque and it's a really nice green for leaves. This will take you a couple of minutes and don't rush through this. Painting takes time. Just enjoy the process. And once you have the leaves covered, add some phthalo blue to your green. Now remember from before, phthalo blue is very strong, so you just need a little bit. Add this darker color to the base of the leaves where they meet the strawberry and where you would see a shadow. Add some dark green in places to differentiate different leaves from each other. You'll have more dark leaves towards the shadow side of the strawberry and fewer dark leaves towards the light side. Clean off your brush again, add a little bit more green to your palette, and now add some yellow to it. Adding some yellow, because yellow tends to be a lighter hue than most other colors, adding some yellow is a way to lighten your green. Now add some of this lighter color to where the light would catch the leaves. And just like the strawberry, we're going to do another layer later, so don't worry if this layer isn't perfect. Now clean your brush again, and we're going to mix the shadow color. Get some quin red and some phthalo blue. And this makes a pretty vibrant purple, a little too purple. So I've added some more quin red and then some green to take some of the vibrancy out of the mix. Now I've added a little bit of ultramarine blue, and then I add a bit more green. And I'm aiming for a dull indigo color for the shadow. Using this color, paint a small shadow under the strawberry and let this layer completely dry. Once your painting so far is completely dry, we'll do another layer on our strawberry. And your paint mixes might be dry on your palette like mine are, so get another mix of cadmium red and quinacridone red. You're going to do another layer similar to the first layer, but in this case, this layer will be your final layer that gives the strawberry form and color. And you'll add the seed layer later. I started with deepening the shadow color by adding a little bit of the phthalo blue to the red mix. Then I add some more of the middle red mix, which is your quin red and your cadmium red, and I apply that with a clean brush. Just like with the background, leave it a little bit painterly. You want to leave a little bit of your brush strokes showing. You don't want to overly blend. You can do a little bit of blending, but don't overly blend. Feel free to smooth some of your brush strokes, but like I said before, leave some of them. It gives you a nice painterly feel. It gives some energy. The brush strokes showing gives some energy to your painting. So just leave some obvious brush strokes. And then I finally add a bit more of the light red. Remember to leave some brush strokes, don't overly blend. Now we'll do another layer on the leaves. Take your chromium oxide green and add another layer to your midtones. And this is also your opportunity to make any adjustments to ensure your leaves look like separate leaves. You can add a dark layer to differentiate leaves in the background from the foreground. Use phthalo blue with a bit of chromium oxide green to create a very dark green, which is great for the base of the leaves. You can even add a touch of just pure phthalo blue to the darkest parts of your leaves, and that can add some energy and vibrancy and make your painting a little bit more interesting. Now clean your brush again and take some pure green with some yellow to add another layer to your light parts of the leaves. And once you've finished that layer, add a little bit of white to your mix and add that to a couple of the very lightest parts of the leaves. Now we're getting close. Next we'll work on the seed layer. And the strawberry needs to be completely dry, so if it's not, give it time to dry before moving on or use a hairdryer. The first step of painting seeds is to mix a very, very dark layer. Using your small round brush, start your mix with some phthalo blue and some of the quin red, and this will give you a dark purple. Next, add some green to tone down the vibrancy of the mix. And then I played a bit more with the mix by adding a bit more quin red and a bit of phthalo blue to ensure it was still leaning purple and wasn't getting too green or brown. And you can paint little dabs onto the strawberry shape for your seeds. And they're dabs and not dots. They're kind of like long, elongated dots. And make sure they're pointing mostly in the same direction with a little variety to make sure they're pointing somewhat towards the stem of the strawberry. And I put a lot fewer seeds in my painting than a real strawberry because there are generally a ton of seeds on a real strawberry, and that'll just take over the painting. Now that this first layer of your seeds is done, let it dry completely. Now mix yellow with a bit of cadmium red. Cadmium red is very strong, so you only need a tiny bit. Now add a smaller dab of this color over the top of the seeds in the shadow area of the strawberry. And keep this dab smaller than the darker dab that you did previously. And without cleaning your brush, add a bit more pure yellow. And add this to your seeds in the mid-tone area of the strawberry. Now clean your brush again and take some pure yellow and add this to the seeds in the lightest areas of your strawberry. And that's it, you've painted a strawberry. Now for the most satisfying part, peeling off the tape. Once you've gotten the basics of painting a single strawberry, you can use this skill to paint groups of strawberries, whether in a bowl, on a plant, or maybe as part of a larger still life.